Thank you. It gets better and better, honestly. It's hard to top Anita Moorjani's story, but the lessons are very, very profound here. The third Wishes Fulfilled Foundation is called Assume the Feeling of the Wish Fulfilled. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So here's where we are. We have used our imagination. We have placed something into our imagination as an I am, which is the name of God. I am strong, I am healthy, I am kind, I am prosperous, I am getting the job that I'm applying for, I am whatever it might be, I am. And then you have practiced calling it as if that which does not exist as though it did. And then you move now from the world of the intellect, because understanding something intellectually is very different than understanding something spiritually. To understand something spiritually, you must experience it. And in order to experience it, you have to experience it in your imagination as an I am, but you must be able to feel it. Our feelings are the things that take place in our body. It says, Neville says, and I have this on next to my bed where I live in Maui, make your future dream a present fact by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So whatever it is that you would like to experience in your life, remember, your imagination is yours. Everything that now exists was once imagined. Therefore, everything that is going to exist must first be imagined. Okay? Henry David Thoreau had probably the greatest definition of success that I have ever heard. He said, if you advance confidently in the direction of your own dreams and endeavor to live the life which you have imagined, you will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. It will chase after you if you can place into your imagination what it is that you would like to attract and begin to feel it. Listen to Neville. This is one of my most favorite quotes from The Power of Awareness. That which you feel yourself to be, you are. And you are given that which you are. So assume the feeling that would be yours were you already in possession of your wish. And your wish must be realized. So live in the feeling of being the one you want to be, and that you shall be. Every feeling makes a subconscious impression. And unless it is counteracted by a more powerful feeling of an opposite nature, it must be expressed. Your feelings are different from your thoughts. Your feelings are what you experience in your body. The dominant of two feelings is the one expressed. I am healthy is a stronger feeling than I will be healthy. I am healthy says I feel healthy, and I feel healthy. I feel great. I don't determine if I am well on the basis of what it says on a piece of paper or on the basis of what somebody else out there tells me. I live my life feeling within my body that I am strong, I am capable, I am able. And that is not just something that I say. It's not just an affirmation. An affirmation is an intellectual exercise. This is a spiritual knowing within that I am well, I am content, I am prosperous. But the words that Neville used there are the subconscious. Every feeling that you have makes a subconscious impression upon your body and upon your awareness. Now, you need to understand the subconscious mind of yours. Your subconscious mind rules your life. 96 to 97% of everything that you do is done as a result of your subconscious mind. And when your subconscious mind gets programmed, it goes ahead and responds to whatever it is your conscious mind has placed into it. I was 18 years old. I was in the United States Navy for 4 years. And they sent me to a school in Bainbridge, Maryland, to become a radioman and a cryptographer. And we spent an hour a day, every day, for the first 3 or 4 weeks we were there, on a typewriter, learning Morse code. Okay? And my conscious mind had to program my subconscious mind. Now, this subconscious mind of yours is operating all the time. You're sitting here watching a television show. You got up, you picked up your remote control, you turned the channel on, you got dressed, you ate lunch, you went to the bathroom, you go to work, you get into your car, you drive to work, you don't think about what I'm going to do. Everything that is going on in your life, everybody in here in this room, you got here through your subconscious mind. You didn't have to think about every single thing that you were doing, but there was a time when you did in order to learn that. This habitual subconscious mind of yours rules your life. So I'm 18 years old, I'm taking Morse code. Here's the alphabet, a little bit of it anyway. Da da did it, da da did, da did it, did da did, da da did, did it, da da da, da da da, da did, da 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 did, da da da, da da did. That's A through P. Check it out. That's 53 years ago. And my subconscious mind is still keeping track of the da 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 da. You're doing the same thing, only you don't use Morse code, but you programmed your subconscious mind with did-it-it, da-da-dit, I can't do that, did-it-it, da-da-dat, I'm not very attractive, did-it-it, da-da-dat, I'm overweight, did-it-it, da-da-da, da-did-it-da, I can't make things happen, and it's did-it-it, da-da-dit, da-da-da, it's still there, 53 years later, and you go through your life with this subconscious programming with an awareness that you are not in charge. You're not able to extend or transcend this way of thinking. This subconscious mind of yours is most impacted by your feelings. A change of feeling is a change of destiny. A change of feeling is a change of destiny. Write it down. Stick it on the wall next to your bed. If you came into where I sleep, you would see that. I look at that all the time. I want to practice putting into my subconscious mind the assumption of the feeling of what it is that I would like to attract into my life as if it already existed, and to feel it, not just to think it, but to feel it. Neville's law of assumption says this: if this assumption about what you would like to become is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is absolutely inevitable. You must first assume the feeling of a wish fulfilled in all aspects of your life. So you have to say to yourself, what does it feel like to be prosperous? What does it feel like to be content? What does it feel like to be well? And I had to remind myself of that when I had this leukemia diagnosis. I had to remind myself, I was down about 30 minutes until I realized that virtually everything that shows up in my life has been a blessing. Virtually everything. All of the struggles, whether it's in addictions, or whether it's in living in foster homes and being abandoned, whether it's my wife and I separating, and the pain of that, whatever it might be. A dear friend of mine was Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She passed away a few years back, and she was the one who wrote so much about death and dying. She had a wonderful and important message for us. She said, if you shield the mountain from the windstorms, you'll never see the beauty of the carvings. And the beauty of the carvings comes from being able to be in a state of gratitude for the storms that show up in our life just as much as the things that we would like to have show up in our life. You have to start retraining your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, it responds to what it is that you suggest to it. Now, the intriguing thing about your subconscious mind, your habitual mind, is that it can't make a distinction between what it is that you are feeling as a result of what you have placed into your imagination and assumed the feeling of it, and what you are experiencing every day in your life. If you go around feeling unhappy, depressed, miserable, sad, whatever, your subconscious mind says, oh, so this is what it is that you would like to attract into your life. And the universal subconscious mind, to which we are all connected, that we call the creative source of the universe, the divine mind, God, the Tao, whatever you might want it to be, it will begin to offer you experiences that match up to what it is that you are feeling, so your body responds to what it is you place into your subconscious mind. You have to retrain it, because 53 years later, here I am, it's there. But that's innocuous. That's not going to hurt anything. But if I've programmed into my subconscious mind feelings of poor me, I can't do anything about my life, other people are responsible for the reason why I can't get myself happy and healthy and so on. If I live with that kind of consciousness within you, you're going around feeling it all the time. Your feelings create the destiny that you want. If this assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is absolutely inevitable. And what's the paramount feeling that you want to have? The feeling of, exactly, the feeling of love. Love is the feeling you must assume. This is the message that Anita brought to me and brought to all of you. That when you place a feeling of love, which is all there is, it seemed to me, on the other side. Is that right, Anita? I mean, it's just nothing. She tries to describe this, and I'm pushing her. You know, I'm 71. I'm cramming for my finals. I mean, I want to know, what's it like over there? You know, we all want to know that. And all she says is, it's just pure love. It's a love that you are bathed in, if you will. Bathe yourself in that kind of love. Live from that place and know God is love. The fourth wishes fulfilled foundation I call attention. This is really crucial. Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. So, what kind of attention do you place on your desires? Let's say, well, I'll give you an example, the one of myself with this business of this chronic lymphocytic leukemia. My kids just got me this wonderful gift. I hadn't had it before. They wanted me in the 21st century. It's called an iPad. I just got my first email address, and I'm not telling anybody what it is. But it's just this wonderful, they got this wonderful feature that I really think we should have in life. And it's called trash, which I had never seen before. They were explaining this to me. So anything that comes in that you don't want, you just push this little button, it's just like this, and it goes like this. It actually moves, and and it makes a little sound. And then there's a little button over on this side that says delete, you know? So it's something you put into the trash, and then you hit delete, it's gone forever. That's the kind of way you want to use your attention. There are two kinds of attention, according to Neville. Subjective attention and objective attention. Subjective attention is different from objective attention. You want to use subjective attention, not objective attention. Neville says there's an enormous difference between attention directed objectively and attention directed subjectively. And the capacity to change your future depends on the latter. Whatever you have placed into your imagination, you always go to your reality and call that which does not exist as if it did. I have a rule about it. It's don't complain and don't explain. You don't have to explain what you have placed into your imagination. It is totally yours. One of my great teachers in my life in my early doctoral years was Dr. Abraham Maslow. He said, become independent of the good opinion of other people. Trust yourself. Subjective attentions. You And only you, capital Y-O-U, are the subject that impacts the burning desire in your imagination. You are living and feeling as if your future dreams are a present fact. Objective attention, you become the objectified result of other people telling you what you can't do, what's impossible, and so on. Subjective attention, mine is mine. I have an image that I use, I call it the super glue method. And when I have an intention about what it is, including doing this program, when I have an intention about making this program a reality, and it involves a lot of money and a lot of expense, a lot of people, a lot of things have to come together. It involves going over into my writing space every single day, never giving up on it. Even if I don't feel like writing, 4 or 5 hours every single day, because I superglue my intention into my imagination. And I don't allow anybody else's opinions to do anything to distract from that. I don't care if they tell me I can't do it, or if it's impossible, or it'll cost too much, or we can't do it. My intentions are superglued there. And I have that do not disturb sign placed on my imagination, and it is mine. Use this. Don't allow anybody else's opinions. Don't allow what it says on the internet. Don't allow the research. Don't allow what anybody out there tells you is possible or not possible for you. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to re-emphasize that this really works. I mean, it really does work. If you just put in the minimal effort that I've been speaking about realizing how powerful your imagination is, and assuming the feeling of what it is you want to be as if it already were your reality. A change of feeling is a change of destiny. The fifth foundation, before I go to it, you may have noticed my little hat here, right? How about that? I just took a group of people to Assisi, Lourdes, and Medjugorje, 3 great spiritual places where miracles have taken place. And I got one of these hats, and I don't think I've taken it off since. It's my new uniform. The fifth foundation, the Wishes Fulfilled Foundation, I call it Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. And it is about the most practical of all of the 5 Wishes Fulfilled Foundations. This is something that you can do when the show is over, tonight, when you go to bed. In the book of Job, there is a very important statement. The statement says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls upon men while slumbering in their beds, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction. Your subconscious mind is most comfortable when you are unconscious. You are unconscious when you are in your sleep state. And in your sleep state, your subconscious mind is busy at work. And it's so important. I call it the last 5 minutes of your day. So you get into bed, every day you get into bed, you get ready to go to sleep, and you are now you're in that state between being awake and being asleep, where you're getting drowsy, and you are going to marinate for the next 8 hours in your unconscious, subconscious mind. You're preparing your marinade. And the question is, how do you want to prepare yourself for having your instructions sealed? Your ears are opened and your instructions are sealed. So most people use the last 5 minutes of their day as they're about to enter into sleep to review all of the things that they don't like, and all of the things that didn't work, and all of the people that hurt their feelings, and all of the stuff that is going on in their life that they wish weren't happening. This is their worry time. This is the time when you fill your mind with all of this stuff, and then you go off into sleep, and he opens your ears and seals your instructions while you are slumbering. That's right out of the book of Job. So what you want to do is reverse this practice, because your subconscious mind is listening to how you are asking the universe to provide for you what it is that you would like to attract or manifest into your life. And if you fill your subconscious mind with all of the things that you don't want, that you don't like, that make you unhappy, that make you depressed, that make you worry, then your subconscious mind, which is impersonal, and remember, it can't make a distinction between what it is that you are feeling as a result of what you place into your mind or what is actually happening in your life. It doesn't distinguish one from the other. It's totally impersonal. It's just open to suggestion. And here you are suggesting to your subconscious mind, which will, when you awaken, you will align with the universal subconscious mind, the one mind. You know, there's millions of people out there in the world. There's millions of you watching this program. And you can see the difference between each and every one of you on the basis of your appearances. But there's only one mind. That's what the great spiritual texts all teach us. So now, if you program your subconscious mind to tell yourself, to go over all the things you don't want, all the things you don't like, all the things that shouldn't have happened, all the ways that you were mistreated, all about how terrible the economy is. And, you know, we live in a fear-based world. You want to shift away from that kind of consciousness and use the last 5 minutes of your day to program your subconscious mind with what you have placed into your imagination with your I ams. I am well. I say it to myself every night, especially when I get into that state, you know, that weird state where you're sort of half awake and you're half asleep, and you know you're heading towards that sort of that subconscious place. And I just remember what it says in the book of Job. I don't want my instructions sealed by going over, I am sick, I am poor, I am unhappy. I just say, I am content, I am lucky. When I wake up in the morning, I don't say, oh, good God, morning. It's the reverse. I say, good morning, God. You know, it's like being grateful rather than being in that place where the things that you don't want are what you have programmed your life to be. I always think of this as, you know, like you have a currency. And if I were to give you currency to go out and purchase what you want, and every place you went, you took this currency that you have to purchase what you want, and you purchase what you don't want, and then when you get home and you wonder why your house and your life is filled with everything that you don't want, it's because you're insane. That's just insanity. It is. I mean, why would you take the currency that you have to buy what you do, that's there for what you do want, and spend it on what you don't want? Well, the currency that you have for attracting into your life what you would like to have are your thoughts and your imagination and your I ams, your God consciousness. Why would you use it to say, I am unable, I am unlucky, I cannot, I will not? You're throttling, that's what it says in the I am discourses, you're throttling that great I am presence that is located within you. And so the last 5 minutes of your day, as you're about to marinate for 8 hours in your subconscious mind with your unconscious state, you want to go into that state. Even if your senses tell you, oh, you're just fooling yourself and so on. You don't want to use your senses and the internet and other people's opinions, what you see, what you hear. You want to let go of all of that and recognize that anything that you want to attract or create for yourself in your life begins with what you have placed in your imagination and have assumed the feeling of that wish fulfilled, and now you're going to practice it. Because getting stuff out of your subconscious mind is a big job. It really is. Most people are just not willing to do what it takes. I still can't get the Morse code out of my subconscious mind. I need to have a major deprogramming thing. There's that exit sign. Dit-da-da-da-da, dit-da. It's always there. But that's just harmless. What isn't harmless is, placing into your subconscious mind all the things that you're reviewing about what you don't like, about what didn't happen, about who mistreated you, about how sad you are, about how this can't happen. You are a creator. Neville put it this way. He said, the feeling which comes in response to the question, how would I feel were my wish realized, is the feeling which should monopolize and mobilize your attention as you relax into sleep. How would I feel were what it is that I would like to attract and create? And I don't care what it is, whether it's about the condition of your body, the disease state that you're in, the fact that you've been overweight for 3 centuries or 3 decades or whatever it is, the fact that you've been addicted, you ignore it. Even if you're drinking the coffee and doing the drugs and drinking alcohol or eating the sugar and so on, ignore what your senses tell you. Ignore what you see on the scale. Ignore all of that and say, I am sober, I am healthy, I am well-being, I am content, I am happy, I am perfect health. Because ultimately, that's how you will attract it. You have to be able to see the wish fulfilled already in advance and call those things which do not yet exist as though they do. Now, as I get ready to conclude this program of love, there are 2 really significant things. You've gone to sleep, you've programmed your subconscious mind, and I want every one of you watching this show, I want you, when you get into bed tonight, just try it tonight. Instead of using these 5 minutes to review what you don't want, review everything that you've placed into your imagination. And keep this in mind when people say to me, and they say it to me all the time, what if I do everything that you say and it doesn't work? It just doesn't work. The student should constantly remind yourself, if it doesn't feel natural, it isn't going to work. Okay? Now, I was being interviewed on a national television show by a guy who was about 5'7" and weighed maybe 140 pounds. And he did this long, intensive interview with me. And he said, you mean to tell me that if I do everything that you say, that I can become a linebacker for the New York Giants professional football team, because he lived in New York. And I said, does it feel natural for you to be a linebacker for the New York Giants? Does that feel natural to you? And he said, no, it doesn't. And if it just doesn't feel natural to you, then all of the rest of this is just a waste of your energy. Now, the question isn't whether you're going to become a linebacker on a professional football team. But does it feel natural for you to say, I deserve prosperity? Does it feel natural for you to say, I deserve to be in a state of well-being? I deserve for my body to weigh exactly what I want it to weigh, what it is supposed to weigh? Does it feel natural for you to say, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am capable, I am loved? If it doesn't feel natural, you've got a real problem going with your subconscious mind. You've got a Morse code in there. Did-did-did, I am fat. Did-did-did, I am poor. Da-da-da-did, I am unable. You have to start reprogramming your subconscious mind to say, I came from a place of well-being. I came from a place of perfect health. I came from a place of love. And I am well-being. I am wealth. Now, on the other hand, there are some people, like there's a basketball player out there in the NBA. His name is Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy Bogues is about 2'3". Now, he's about 5'7" or 5'8". And he can dunk a basketball. He's 5'7", and he can dunk a basketball. I'm 6'2", I can hardly see the rim. But somehow, for this man who is 5'7", it felt natural for him to be able to elevate his body and grab onto a rim that's 10 feet off of the ground. And it feels natural for him, and he's able to do it. And there are so many examples of people who have accomplished things that they have never had a belief system that it was impossible for them. So for every single one of us, the intention needs to be, it feels natural to me. Even if I don't know how to do it, even if I have no experience with it, even if it's something that everybody else has told me I can't do, you need to be able to say to yourself, yes, I feel natural being happy, being loved, being prosperous, being all the things that I placed into my imagination. The second thing that I'd like to say in conclusion is that I was trying to manifest something into my life. And I did everything, but it still wasn't working. And then I reread the I Am discourses. And one of the things that it says in the I Am discourses that is very, very powerful is that as long as you are having any thoughts of condemnation, criticism, or judgment towards any of God's children, you are throttling the great I Am presence within you that is God. And I realized that my attempt to manifest what I wanted for myself into my life involved some judgment, some criticism, and even some condemnation toward someone who had done things that I felt that that person shouldn't have done. And when I let go of the judgment, and I let go of the condemnation, and I let go of the criticism, almost instantly what it was that I was looking to manifest showed up in my life. You can't have any thoughts towards any of God's children that involve criticism, judgment. You have to walk down a new street. There it is, a new street. And not just for ourselves, but for the planet and for our children. There's a wonderful prayer that the Native Americans would say. When we walk upon the earth, we place our feet very carefully because we know that the faces of our future generations are looking up at us from beneath the ground, and we never forget them. Sometimes I think we have forgotten them. Sometimes I think we forget that we are borrowing our planet from them. This is theirs, and they're just letting us use it. This, on this stage with me, I'm proud to say, is the San Diego Children's Choir. And I would like to tell all of you, ladies and gentlemen, the story about the song you're about to sing. This song was composed by a man named John Newton, who lived back in the 18th century. And he was in the business of selling human beings into slavery. He was 22 years old, and he was a slave ship captain. And in this hideous practice that was so commonplace in the 17th and 18th centuries in the British and American empires, he was taking people from West Africa on his ship to the New World, to South Carolina, to be sold into slavery. And halfway across the ocean, he encountered a storm. And he heard from the wailing of one of the people that was to be sold into slavery, the sounds. And he took out an envelope and he wrote on the back of this envelope the words to a song. I once was lost, and now I'm found. I once walked down an old street, and I'm walking now on a new street. And in one moment, his life was changed. And the storm passed, and legend tells us that he turned his ship around, and he went back to Africa, and he released all of the people who were still alive. And then he took his ship to a place in England called Bristol, and gave up being a slave ship captain and became the most ardent spokesman for the abolition of slavery, and was almost single-handedly responsible for ending this horrible, nefarious, hideous practice of selling human beings. And it all happened in one moment, one instant, one quantum moment. Any of us can change our lives in one moment and reverse the old street and begin walking on a new street. So the San Diego Children's Choir, we're so proud to have you come out here and conclude this program on Wishes Fulfilled. And they're going to sing for you Amazing Grace.
So beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, thank you. You're so beautiful. Thank you. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing? Hi, gorgeous. Hi. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow.
They're here, and we thank you for letting us use this planet. And we hope that we will remember you in all that we undertake and all that we do. If you would like to accomplish something, you must first expect it from yourself. Every one of you. You are a spark that can grow until you recognize that you truly are divine beings. Because in every moment of your life, and every moment of your lives, you have this choice. You can either be a host to God or a hostage to your ego. It's your call. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you. Thank you.